I'm back here at the immunisation handbook. Haven't been here for a while. This is the official handbook that relates to legislation, the only thing that relates to legislation when it comes to vaccines. So there's vaccine preventable diseases. There's actually 25, starting with cholera, followed by COVY, ending with herpes zoster. It's not really that many, is it? Only 25. Think of all the ailments you can get, and only 25 are vaccine preventable. But as we know, COVY, it's special. It's different from everything else, and that's no different to here at the good old immunisation handbook. Because when you click on the disease, you do get the list of vaccines, but instead of all the information being in the immunisation handbook, you get this little arrow pointing up. Well, let's leave and go somewhere else. So you end up landed over here at just the initiatives program. It doesn't make any sense. How can COVID be listed in the handbook as a vaccine preventable disease, and yet the vaccines aren't included? And the immunisation handbook is the only document that's linked to the legislation. Well, very odd. Now, another thing that sets it apart is that it's only one of 25 vaccine preventable diseases, allegedly, and it costs over $17 billion, coming up to 2 years. So what do the other 24 cost? $455 million for 20. You got 24. $455 million, and one costs $17 billion. This is an absolute bargain. And when you go to tenders.gov.au and look at what they're spending on these pharmaceutical companies, that works out about right. Now, ordinarily, the $17 billion would jump right out at you at tenders.gov.au, but of course it's not there. Oh, commercially sensitive. I'd say also commercially complicated. Got here September 2021, Australian government announced a dose-sharing partnership with the UK. Now, at no time was there any pause or anything in our jab program. I mean, we got 4 million doses from the UK, and then we sent them back 4 million. Remember, this stuff was supposed to be super sensitive, had to be at minus 70 degrees. And how much is shipping all these doses around the world? How much is that? It's not very economical. We had a swap deal with Singapore. We swapped 500,000 in September, and then 500,000. And we bought 1 million from Poland, of all places. You got label exemptions on them anyway, so that makes it a bit harder to work out, what's in them and where they've come from, in case, because they don't have to meet specific criteria with an exemption. They can have anything on them. But throw this in, just say, a massive, unfortunate people happen to be adversely affected. Now, apparently you can't sue these companies, but just say you wanted to find out who it was. Just say you could just be angry at them and maybe not buy from them anymore. How are you going to track the origin of the crap that went into you? It's almost it's by design. Spreading the cost for the COVY and the rest over 2 years, it works out COVY costs you, for one disease, 20 times the other 24. So what are the benefits exactly? All right, well, first one there, protecting yourself against severe illness. Well, these are the symptoms, and this is updated 2 days ago, by the way. This has been the same for the whole 2 years. They haven't changed. Now, they've got COVID in direct comparison, not with other diseases, but with influenza, cold and allergies even. But now influenza, that's one of the vaccine preventable diseases, and that's not costing us $17 billion. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, so also protect yourself from death. Well, the average age of death, that's above life expectancy. So what that means, only if all the other ailments that are getting around, including the ones that are in the vaccine preventable diseases, by the way, the other 24, if they don't get you, then, and only then, does COVY get a crack at you. Protecting people who can't be vaccinated. Well, it's hardly anybody. They're not letting anyone escape this crap. Slowing the spread of the virus. This is about a year and a bit after the Jibbies became available, and about 6 months, this is April, after they threatened everyone with losing their jobs, so they took it. 409,000 active cases. It's virtually non-existent for the rest of the graph. Look at the graph on the right-hand side. Now, if you were to ask anybody with common sense, a school kid, doing probability maths in year 8 at high school, and you said, would you say the jab slowed the spread of the virus or increased the spread of the virus? Oh, keeping hospital. Don't talk to me about hospitals. You know those videos? You can still find a few from overseas where they're all dancing and doing these video productions of songs. That one they did up at one of the Queensland hospitals, I cannot find it. I'm hoping it's on one of my old drives, because that was a big production. That was... They would have had to have brought in a team for that. I don't know what their mentality... I know they were just trying to make us be upbeat about health in particular, while, you know, we're getting smashed around. But, gee, they missed the mark, and they know they did. You can't find that video anywhere. Now, the last two, you're reducing lockdowns, school closures, you can travel, go to events. Well, that's just extortion. That's just like a criminal putting a knife to your throat. Give me all your money. Oh, what's in it for me? Well, I'm not going to stab you. You're not going to lose all my money. At the end, it's not a benefit. Yeah, but you didn't get stabbed. They're fucking criminals, aren't they? Now, I'm going to create an inquiry out of this one. Now, that's going to all be done on the Ausdid. I've created the channels. I'm really separating them from this one. That this channel is, when I do the Ausdid ones, because it's more of a business and I'm engaging with government and doing surveys, I have to be a bit more staid. And I tell you, I don't like it. I like doing it like this. I think you can tell I do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the videos old style, put them up here, and then right at the end, or just in the comment section, oh, by the way, there's an inquiry on this if you want to participate. And that way, you know, people who from overseas that have nothing to do with our government and don't participate, they can just, you know, look at the information here and get it from here. But if you are inclined and you want to do something and get involved, then I'll put the link and you go over to the channel. So that's how I'm doing it from now on, just a separation. So get back to the old style MT2. I've got a few in the works for this one that aren't inquiries, just sort of stuff like this that's incredulous. All right, that is it for this one.